Forks in chess are satisfying. In this video, I will be covering one game in which I was left disappointed after a fork. What was the lead up to that moment? Let's take a look at the game. It started off as a normal game, d4, d5, knight f3, bishop f5, just getting under our pieces. Opponent develops the bishop, I play e6, stabilizing move. Next, e3, bishop d6, offering a trade, and doesn't want to trade. So I kicked the bishop out instead, because it was starting my queen. c6, again, restabilizing, trying to go for a setup like this. And c4, very nice move, trying to strike at the center immediately. So I don't take it and develop this knight here. It's a pretty good move. If you go here, I can simply put this bishop back and it's alright for me. So c takes d5, just taking my pawn immediately, which is bad because here I can just take this and maybe put my knight over here, my queen here. Instead of that, I play knight takes d5, which is not that bad, but I do throw my advantage a little bit. The opponent has 0.6 advantage, which at this level is completely meaningless, but it is something nevertheless. But here the opponent surprises me and doesn't develop the piece. I was thinking that if you go here, there's something like bishop b4. This is a really good move though, because it also shields the king, and then you can castle that way, for instance. Instead, the opponent plays bishop d3, because, well, if you damage my pawn structure, it's good, but you also want to get rid of an active piece I have. Now here, I find the best move, queen a5. The thing is, if you block with the knight, here you lose your bishop. If I can draw the arrow, I cannot draw the arrow. If you go here, I take it, and I have this, which is winning a piece, yeah, either that or that, depending on what you play. And if you move the queen, I have bishop b4, and if you block, I take you. And then I'm threatening this covered attacks on your queen, which is gonna win. I was expecting my opponent to go king f1 here, because all those moves do not work that I mentioned previously. But instead they went king e2. Now again, this isn't a bad move. It gives me the advantage, sure, but I don't really know how to exploit this move. I played a good follow-up move, which is queen b6, but I was thinking here you just trade queens. You're gonna play this and we're gonna trade and damage your pawn structure, and then we're just gonna have a game. But the opponent doesn't play queen b3, which is apparently the best move, but here you shouldn't take it, you should take the bishop. Takes d3 and then queen a6, which is just a ridiculous line. I simply take this bishop. I just simply ran out of ideas. I was thinking if I go back, I don't want to damage my pawn structure, that's bad. Alright, queen takes d3, of course. And now I find the line. I set up a trap for my opponent. I try my best to do so. Knight to d7. This is the bait right here. And this move disallows the queen from taking it with a check if I long castle. So that's the line. Queen e4, long castles, and if you take, thinking you're really smart because you're threatening this bishop, right? Knight f4. It's a beautiful tactic, targeting both pieces, and if you take, I can bring either of the rooks, and your queen's gonna be lost. Here recommends f5. I take the queen, oops, I take the queen, and then I go for the king. This queen's presence is felt, so I do give up 9 points for the queen, but I do have a strong presence with this queen. I can also bring this rook over here. You cannot take because it's pinned. So that's what I was going for. Knight d7. The thing is, if the opponent doesn't fall for a trap, it's still a good move, because I'm planning to castle on one side either way. Not if the opponent plays this, I'm not going to short castle. It is an improving move, develops a piece, of course. So even if the opponent doesn't fall for it, it's still not risk averse. Like I said in my really bad setting traps video, that was mainly for the openings. This one is more of a middle game trap. And I thought the trap looked pretty enticing, but the opponent doesn't play queen e4. Instead, they play e4. And that's pretty disappointing. I'll say this. I know that I found this trap. I was like, oh look, it's pretty cool. You can win the queen like that, but you just blunder the fork here. Queen's lost. You target my knight. You forget that it used to cover that square. And it's over. The opponent resigned. Why am I making a fuss about this move? Well, it's very simple. The Daily Championship has a few prizes you can obtain for best video, best blog, whatever. But there's also one for best move. And I figured that the move knight f4 in the trap, knight f4 check, is a pretty good move if you understand the setup, what took before it. I think it's a good move just because of that. There's a brilliant move I cannot show you because I don't have a membership. That's kind of funny. But yeah, in this case, it's definitely not gonna pull anything off in that sense. So that is why I wanted to make this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.